Fellas, welcome back to the YouTube channel. We are here with the next guide on our YouTube channel, and this time it's the secondary boy, the Michelangelo. Very unique ship, but also, yeah, alright in some departments. You could argue it's an alright boat, but anyway, we start with it. So what makes Michelangelo so special? You have an Italian ship that has cruiser that has massive 320mm main guns in the middle. That sounds on paper crazy. 320mm guns on a cruiser, that sounds amazing. Now here's the drawback though. This ship's gimmick is not the main guns. It's blistered with secondaries all over the place. And your main guns on top of that have very bad firing angles. Since they're positioned in the middle, it means you cannot really shoot forward or backward with the ship. And you have only a small area where you can use them effectively. So you will most likely rely mostly on secondary damage. However, if people tend to show broadside and don't respect these guns, you can hit massively with the SEP and AP, because these are still 320mm guns. So if you have a cruiser at like 10-12 km away from you, full broadside, you can still sit at them obviously with the AP, because you have insanely good pen. But you need to be very careful when using the main guns, because once you show too much, I'm gonna show you here, to use both guns here for example, you have to show an insane amount of broadside. And against BBs this can be a death sentence, because you are a perfectly flat area here, and even though you have spaced armor, you will get citadel and punished even with full pens quite a lot, so keep that in mind. You only really want to use the main guns when you have opportunities to open up. Other than that, let your secondaries work. Concealment is pretty good with 11 km. Secondary range is 10.5. So your concealment is nearly your secondary range. You also have 8 km torps, which have extremely good angles to the back, but very average angles to the front. Basically, what you want to do is, since you are heavily armored in the middle, you kind of want to... You have 40 mil in the middle, by the way, plating. That means no BB will able to overmatch you in the middle, even if you're fully angled. You want to bait people in shooting your side plating and tank shots with it, so you lift the most. You also have a blistering high HP pool. Keep in mind, your nose and back is fully covered in 25mm, meaning that's what B players will try to hit you, because they can just straight up overmatch you there. This ship is inviting you to play it extremely aggressive, but be patient. Be patient. Don't go in completely at the beginning of the game, because you have to first check out what is gonna be the DD spotting and so on. You gotta be very careful about it, because DD spotting is a thing that can kill you. Also, he really aimed here. That was actually a really good push. I wasn't even turning that fast there. But hey. Main gun spotting is on smoke firing penalty is 11.21, so you try to not use it at the beginning as well. I did use my smoke here a bit too early, and the Stalingrad is already kiting away. So what we're gonna do here now is gonna turn away. There's also an RPF on us, so the DD is not here, but most likely in front of Stalingrad. Now, it could also be Stalingrad having... Oh, okay, he's dead. He's so dead. Now you're gonna see what's gonna happen if you're 5 km close with the Hydro. Okay, so maybe not dead, but we're gonna get a lot of damage out here. We're also gonna use our main guns here to finish him off. And he should not make it out of here. Come on, secondaries. Can do it. Nah, they're disappointing him now. That's the thing what I also hate about Michelangelo. Yes, it has quite strong secondaries. And Jäger is a small target too, in all fairness, I gotta mention it. But you see, you're giving a lot up for the secondaries, and yet he wasn't even able to kill a Jäger player that did a massive mistake. So, yes, against bigger targets, against cruisers and BBs, you're gonna hit quite constantly. But DDs, you need to be extremely close. And in comparison, for example, if I would have been in Napoli now, I would have probably killed them, because the Napoli secondaries would have been in a better spot. Like, you have a lot of them, but I don't know, I don't think the accuracy is good enough for what you give up here. Anyway, Jäger lives, unfortunately. But he's he's still very low. So that's the nice thing about having the Hydro when you're in the smoke screen. People just push your smoke and then suddenly get Hydroed, and they're like, oh, maybe that wasn't the best idea. Alright. Like, generally speaking, I don't think this is a particularly good ship, guys. It has its moments, and it can push one for one. It can push extremely good into other ships. But as soon as you have to fight on multiple flanks, or you have to play far more aggressive than you would like to, Michelangelo starts to suffer. And I would, for example, play Brindisi over this at any point. Because, yes, Brindisi is extremely squishy in comparison, but I would also have way more reliant main guns, which are always a thing I take. I take reliant main guns over secondaries at any day. There's some exceptions, like Libertad, for example, where the secondaries are just crazy, orange Schlieffen. But here's a perfect example of how a guy got away that should have not really gotten away. To be fair, I should have shot earlier with the main guns. I just didn't want to get spotted against the Stalingrad. We lost already 3 ships in this matchmaking now, so what we gotta do is we gotta start playing it way more aggressive now. We gotta try to break the Jäger here and the Slava. I'm not gonna... Actually, I'm gonna open up because if Jäger dies, I'm gonna go dark. Come on. Main guns, don't be so disappointing. Good. Alright. What we're gonna try to do now is gonna try to deal a devastating blow against that Slava and Los Andes. If these 2 people die, we're back in the game. We gotta move up to our Benham, maybe even use the smoke screen for farming purposes. We also check if something is close enough to be in our smoke firing penalty, but no, nice. And now we're just gonna chunk the Los Andes a bit down here. I'm also gonna switch to AP because Azuma is showing full broadsides and we have 320mm guns, meaning we have a perfect armament to citadel him here. Hopefully we can get the shot off before he's hiding. I don't think we're gonna hit him at the back turret anymore. Nah, that's gonna be overpens. Worth a try though. Gotta keep it at an angle on the Stalingrad. As soon as Stalingrad cannot shoot us anymore, we're gonna push into the Azuma. Because if the Azuma player knows the game, he's gonna switch to AP. Alright, he's shooting HE and we're angled enough anyway for AP now. Good. Now we're gonna stop here, so we're not in the crossfire between Stalingrad and Los Andes. We want to finish the Azuma player on our own terms now. And quick reminder to not overturn here. Very important, you need to stay angled here. Let the secondaries work, just use one main gun, you're fine. And then the damage output comes from itself. Okay, he switches to AP, but we're angled enough, alright. We gotta stop here, we do not want to fight the Los Andes. Also keep in mind, since we have massive battle cruiser guns, we also burn longer. Which is another downside. We don't have standard cruiser fires on us. Okay, we can potentially use the smoke screen here of the Benham. But we gotta... Nah, actually we can't. Stalingrad is turning in as well. We can use it here, but we cannot go much more forward. We let our secondaries work now. We're not gonna shoot, because if I shoot, I'm gonna be detected. This is also a thing you need to keep in mind. 11.1 is your detection range on the main guns. Only use them when you're in a safe spot. Like right now, no need for me to use them. Here we can use them. Nobody's close enough to spot me. I'm also thinking about going into the smoke screen if Stalingrad takes the radar bait, but he's not at the moment. We're gonna smoke up here. Why do we smoke up here? So the carrier can't grief us for much longer. And we're also gonna get ourselves into an AP position to smash the Stalingrad. We try to shoot it here, so we're not detected by Los Andes. Very important, Los Andes is not in the cap at the moment, meaning we can get a free shot here on the Stalingrad. And he's not paying attention. Now, dispersion on the main guns is very questionable from time to time, but you can still smash opponents with it. We are also pretty close to be out of his radar range. Come on. Oh, he's turning in again. That's still broadside though. Oh, and Los Andes is here. We're spotted. But that was a massive volley. Good. Okay, Los Andes is actually here. Ooh, I was wondering. Oh, that's gonna hurt. Oh my god, he just smashed us to oblivion, yeah. That was actually kind of a surprise play. He sneaked it around here without ever entering the cap. Good. We gotta run now. We gotta run heavily. The Starlinger is busy with the DD. That means we can full turn here. I'm gonna get the heal buff. Good. Our team is breaking the south though. Okay. Now looking at the battle output, we are all on one. Like the enemy is controlling 75% of the map. We have only 25, so we are gonna end up in multiple crossfires now, which is not really good. Also, we got Blood Minister in the enemy team. I just noticed now we have Wargaming in the enemy team. No wonder they're rigging the victory. Nah, I'm just kidding. That's obviously a joke, guys. Oh my god, he's playing Valparaiso. I didn't even know this. Yeah, we're gonna go down now. Alright. We still did fairly decent for our scenario here around the map. The only thing I would have wished that happened earlier is that we could have punished the Jäger earlier. Generally speaking, you see, as soon as it comes to multiple crossfires, you will die rather fast than Michelangelo. If you have one guy angled on you or two, as long as they're angled, you're fine. But once it happens to be that you have people here, 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 and then Michelangelo is a humongous target which you can just smash from all sides. Plus, if you know how to play around it, you would never be in secondary range in the first place. It can have its moments, and it's generally a fun ship to play, but you have to have the right matchmaking for it. And the opportunity to play it aggressive. We could play it here rather aggressive, because Stalingrad gave us a lot of room here, but at the same time, he was kiting away, so we would never really be able to deal with him, and then we had to give up and rotate over here. Speaking of though, we end with 141k damage and a kill. As you can see, despite shooting quite a lot of the secondaries, we didn't get the hits. So if I could choose one thing about Michelangelo actually, I would love to give it a bit more accuracy. Or shell speed, because the secondaries, while it has a lot of them, you do not get that many hits on longer ranges. And it's the core gimmick of the ship, so at least give it there a bit more firepower. Yet we still end the team by quite a bit. Doesn't speak for the team as well, but hey. Got also a close quarters. And if we look at the damage report, you will see, despite having 41k damage, and despite being an absolute secondary focused ship, we still did the most damage with the main guns. So I try to say that even to a lot of people, even if you play Valpar, or even, not Valparaiso, even if you play Libertad, or if you play Schlieffen, I mean, Libertad might be an exception, but you generally will do, regardless of your secondary firepower, main guns will still be the bread and butter of your ships. Like, even in a ship like this, where you can barely use the main guns, you still do, usually, the majority of damage with it. No matter if it's a fully secondary focused boat or not. Because, fact is, you're limited in range in these ships. And there's no point in you for inting in the first 3 minutes into the enemy, hope for a 1-for-1 trade and leave the game. That's not the idea of secondary ships. So keep that in mind. Looking at how we damaged though, we damaged 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 different ships, so not bad. And we also took a beating. We took 113k damage. So you see, as long as you angled, the ship can be extremely survivable. But again, once you show broadside, the BBs will hump on you greatly. And that was Michelangelo for you. Hope you enjoyed it. I don't think it's a particularly amazing ship. It's fun to play because it's something different, but I don't think it's a good ship on tier 9. Really, there's better in that regards. And thank you for watching. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And have a good one, your channelers, and